Hello, everyone. Welcome to this quick dive into one of the most influential books on leadership and business. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. If you've ever wondered why some companies and leaders inspire massive loyalty while others just sell products, this book has the answers. Today, I'm going to summarize the main points, provide some context, and highlight the key lessons you can apply to your own life or work. We'll keep this to about 5 minutes, so let's jump right in. First, a bit of context. Simon Sinek wrote Start with Why in 2009, inspired by his observations of successful organizations and leaders. It all started from his famous TED Talk, which has over 60 million views, where he introduced the concept of the golden circle. The book expands on that, drawing from history, biology, and real-world examples to explain why purpose-driven leadership wins. Sinek argues that in a world full of competition, it's not what you do that matters most. It's why you do it. This idea has influenced countless entrepreneurs, from startups to Fortune 500 companies, and even nonprofits. At the heart of the book is the golden circle. Imagine 3 concentric circles. The outer one is what. That's the products or services you offer. The middle is how, the processes or values that set you apart. And the core is why, your purpose, cause, or belief. Why do you exist beyond making money? Most companies communicate from the outside in. They tell you what they do, maybe how, but rarely why. But inspiring leaders and organizations start from the inside out. They lead with why, which creates emotional connections and drives loyalty. Take Apple as an example. They don't just say, "We make great computers." Instead, their why is to challenge the status quo and think differently. That's why people line up for their products. They buy into the belief, not just the gadget. Sinek backs this up with biology. Our brains have 2 main parts for decision-making. The neocortex, which handles rational thought and language, like analyzing features and prices. And the limbic brain, which controls feelings, trust, and loyalty, but has no capacity for language. When you communicate what and how, you're speaking to the rational brain. But why taps into the limbic brain, where gut decisions happen. That's why facts alone don't inspire. It's the purpose that moves people. He illustrates this with historical examples. The Wright brothers succeeded in powered flight, not because they had more money or talent. They were underfunded hobbyists, but they had a burning why: to change the world through aviation. Meanwhile, Samuel Langley, with government funding and top engineers, failed because he was driven by fame and fortune. What Sinek calls starting with what. Another powerhouse example, Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't have a detailed plan. He had a dream, a why that united millions. Over 250,000 people showed up to the March on Washington, not for him, but because they believed in the cause of equality. Now, let's talk about the law of diffusion of innovation. This is a key concept Sinek borrows to explain market adoption. Society breaks down like this: 2.5% innovators, 13.5% early adopters, 34% early majority, 34% late majority, and 16% laggards. To achieve mass success, or tipping point, you need about 15 to 18% market penetration. But here's the twist. Innovators and early adopters are driven by intuition and belief. They buy why. The majority wants proof it works. So if you start with why, you attract those early believers who become your evangelists, pulling in the rest. Sinek warns that losing sight of your why can be fatal. Look at companies like Walmart after Sam Walton's death. They shifted from serving people to chasing profits, leading to scandals and lost trust. Or TiVo, revolutionary product, but they marketed what, a DVR, not why, empowering viewers. So they struggled despite innovation. So what are the main lessons for you, the reader or viewer? First, discover your own why. It's not about what you do for a living. It's the contribution you make to others' lives. Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Apply this to your career, business, or even personal relationships. Lead with purpose to inspire action. Second, maintain the golden circle balance. Clarity of why, discipline of how, your guiding principles, and consistency of what. Everything you say and do must prove your why. This builds authenticity and trust. Third, remember that manipulation tactics, like price drops or promotions, work short-term but erode loyalty. Inspiration through why creates lasting bonds. In hiring, don't just look for skills. Find people who believe in your why. They'll innovate and stay committed. Finally, Sinek emphasizes that why organizations outlast what ones because they adapt from a core belief. Think of Southwest Airlines. Their why is democratizing air travel, which guides everything from low fares to fun culture. In summary, Start with Why isn't just a business book. It's a blueprint for inspired living. By focusing on purpose, you can lead, innovate, and connect on a deeper level. If this resonates, grab the book or watch Sinek's TED Talk. Thanks for watching. What's your why? Share in the comments below. See you next time. Inspired by Start with Why by Simon Sinek.